Commander Elias stood by the window of the silent space station. Outside, the stars looked cold and distant. Earth was no more, just a dead rock floating in space. Elias was the last human. Alone, forgotten and tired, years had passed since he last heard a human voice. The station system still worked. Barely. Food was running low, water recycled again and again. The lights flickered sometimes, but they always came back on. Just like him, he broke down often, but never fully. He followed a strict routine every day. Wake up, check oxygen levels, run system scans, eat, exercise, then sit by the window. It kept him sane, or at least he believed it did. His only companion was the station's AI, called Ray. But Ray stopped speaking long ago, just silent now, a ghost in the machine. Elias sometimes talked to himself just to hear a voice. Another day in paradise, he whispered with a sad smile. He stared at the stars, wondering if anyone out there remembered humans. Or maybe they never knew humans existed at all. One day, while checking the long-range scanner, Elias froze. A blinking red dot appeared on the edge of the screen. It was not debris, not a comet. It was a ship. He leaned closer, his heart beating faster than it had in years. The signal was weak. The ship small and damaged. He tapped the console, trying to clean the data. No human ID. No familiar language, just a repeating pattern. A distress signal. Elias stared at it for a long moment. He could ignore it, pretend he never saw it. But something deep inside him moved. Hope, maybe, or curiosity, or just the need to see another face. He activated the comms, tried speaking. "This is Commander Elias, Human Station 09K. Do you copy?" No reply, just static. He sent a simple beacon lights only, universal code. Safe. Dock open. Then he waited. For hours he watched as the small ship slowly drifted closer. It looked like it could fall apart at any moment. One wing was half gone, the engine sparking. Finally, the ship docked, hissing and groaning. The airlock light turned green, pressure matched, safe to open. Elias grabbed his old sidearm. Heart racing. He hadn't used it in years. But he didn't trust the unknown. The door slid open slowly. Out of the mist stepped a tall figure, wrapped in a torn silver cloak. She was not human, that was clear. Her skin was pale blue, her eyes large and glowing softly. In her arms, she carried a small child, also not human, but different. The child looked weak, breathing hard, eyes half closed. The mother looked up at Elias, her face full of fear and pleading. She didn't speak his language, but her eyes told the story. Elias didn't know what to do. He had no orders, no mission, no reason to help, but he stepped aside. Letting them enter, something in him refused to turn away. He guided them to the med bay, activated old healing systems. The child was scanned, treated, and slowly began to breathe easier. The mother stayed close, never letting go of his tiny hand. She looked at Elias again, then softly spoke one word: sanctuary. It was the first real word Elias had heard from someone else in years, and it broke something inside him. He nodded slowly. "You're safe now," he whispered, more to himself than to her. Later, he sat in the command room, staring at the blinking dot again. Another signal had appeared, far behind the first. Stronger, faster, and not friendly. His hands trembled slightly as he shut the console off. Outside, the stars were still cold. But now, Elias was not alone. The last light of humanity had met. A new kind of life, and something told him this was just the beginning. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The station had not felt this alive in years. Elias walked through the corridors, hearing soft footsteps behind him. The alien mother followed quietly, holding her child close. Her eyes watched everything with caution, scanning every shadow, every corner. The child had slept for hours, his small chest rising and falling slowly. Elias kept glancing at him, still trying to believe what he saw. A child that was not human, but not fully alien either. There was something familiar about the shape of his hands, the curve of his face. In the medbay, the healing machines hummed gently. They had restarted only when the child touched them. Elias hadn't forgotten that moment. The machines were dead for years, useless, but the child had touched one, and it lit up. It was like life responded to him. The mother sat beside the bed, whispering words Elias couldn't understand. She looked tired, her silver skin scratched, her cloak torn, but her hand stayed steady as she cared for her son. Elias brought water, and she drank carefully, never breaking eye contact. He tried using old translation software. The computer scanned her speech and created a simple word list. After an hour, a few words came through. Safe, run, hide, hunter, and again, the word she had spoken before, sanctuary. Elias stared at the screen, then at the child. Why would anyone hunt a child? He walked to the command room, checking the scanner again. The second ship was closer now, big, fast, and clearly tracking them. They found you. Elias muttered under his breath. He pressed buttons quickly, activating the outer defenses. They were old lasers, a few torpedoes, shields at 40%. But it was all he had. The door behind him slid open. The mother stood there, holding her child again. She pointed at the scanner, eyes wide, and then pressed her hand to her heart. Elias didn't need translation for that. I know, he said quietly. They're coming. He watched as the child opened his eyes. They glowed a faint golden color, unlike anything Elias had ever seen. Then something strange happened. The lights in the room became brighter. The air smelled fresh, clean, like after rain. The child raised his hand slowly, touching the control panel. The screen flickered once, then showed the enemy ship in sharper detail. Elias stepped back in shock. Did he do that? He asked, not expecting an answer. The mother nodded. She whispered a word Elias didn't know, then touched her son's face. Suddenly, a broken console near the door beeped to life. It had been dead for over a decade. Elias realized the truth. Child had power, not just technology, but something more. Some kind of link to energy, machines, maybe even life itself. Back in the med bay, the mother let the child rest again. Elias sat beside her, typing what he could into the translator. Why hunted? He asked, showing her the screen. She read it slowly, then typed back, one finger at a time. Because he is hope. Elias read the words over and over. He looked at the child, small, fragile, glowing with quiet power, then back at the scanner, read. Lights flashing now, the enemy ship approaching fast. He opened the weapon system menu. The old torpedoes still worked, but there were only 3. The shields could last maybe 5 minutes under real fire. He thought about sending a message, but there was no one left to call. No fleet, no allies, no command. Humanity was gone, except for him, and maybe, somehow, this child. The mother walked over, pointed at the enemy ship on screen, then at her child, then at Elias. She said one word slowly, clearly, protect. Elias looked into her glowing eyes. He felt a cold chill in his chest, but also something warm underneath it. A reason to fight again, a reason to live. The child stirred, eyes half open. He looked at Elias and smiled. It was small, tired, but real. That one smile made something. Heavy break inside the old commander. He had seen the end of the world, but maybe, just maybe, this was the beginning of something else. Elias stood up, set the weapons to auto-lock. Then let them come, he said. Voice steady for the first time in years. He wasn't just surviving anymore. He was protecting something important, and this station, this forgotten tomb of human memory, was about to become a battlefield. Asterisk, the lights on the station dimmed, alarms stayed silent. But Elias didn't need noise to feel danger. The red glow from the radar screen was enough. The enemy ship had changed course. It was now coming fast, straight at them. Elias zoomed in on the image. It was huge, almost 5 times bigger than the alien mother's ship. Its shape was sharp and cold, like a spear built for only one purpose: war. It carried no flag, no signal, no call signs. Whoever was inside didn't want to talk. They wanted to destroy. Behind him, the alien mother stood silently. She had wrapped her injured arm and stood tall. Her child still rested, but his body glowed faintly. A quiet warmth spread through the room, like a heartbeat beneath the metal floor. Elias turned to the weapons panel, torpedoes loaded. Shields at 43%, lasers charged. He had trained for war once, but that was long ago. Now he was a relic of a lost world, defending two strangers from a ghost ship. The mother walked over and pointed at the enemy ship. She drew a simple symbol. In the dust on the screen, broken star. Elias frowned. What does that mean? He whispered. She tapped the screen again, then placed her hand over her son's chest. And for the first time, he understood. They weren't just running from war. They were running from their own people. The child stirred in the corner, his eyes opening slowly. A soft hum filled the air as nearby lights glowed brighter. Elias stepped closer and saw the boy's hands move gently in the air. He wasn't touching anything, yet the station responded: lights, panels, even the door. The child turned to Elias and whispered a word that didn't come from any translator, but somehow Elias understood it deep in his bones. Danger, Elias nodded. I know, he said, voice calm. They're here for him. He stared at the scanner, watching the enemy ship slow down. It was now in perfect firing range, but it didn't attack yet. Instead, a sudden message blinked on the screen. Surrender the hybrid. No voice, no face, just those three words repeated in red. Surrender the hybrid. Surrender the hybrid. Elias felt heat rise in his chest. He turned to the mother, showed her the message. She shook her head violently, clutching her child tighter. Tears filled her eyes, not of fear, but rage. She knew what surrender meant: death. Elias paced the room, thinking fast. He didn't know who these attackers were, or what kind of weapons they had, but he knew one thing: if they got the child, something terrible would happen. The child was not just special, he was unique, a miracle, part alien, part something else. Elias looked at his hand, remembering a time long ago, a mission called Project Genesis. Human scientists had sent DNA deep into space, a last hope to keep humanity alive. Most believed it failed, lost to the stars. But now, Elias wasn't so sure. The child, he could be the answer, the only proof that humanity still mattered. A living connection between two worlds. Another warning flashed on the screen. Final request: surrender or die. Elias gritted his teeth and typed a reply. This station is protected. I will not surrender anyone. He sent the message, then shut down comms. The alien mother looked at him with wide eyes. She didn't speak, but she didn't need to. She simply placed her hand on his shoulder, and for a moment, Elias felt strength return to his old bones. He moved quickly, locking down the corridors, activating emergency defense systems. Even the AI, silent for years, flickered with life for a moment. Defense mode engaged. The screen blinked. Ray, the old AI, still had a little life left outside. The enemy ship charged weapons. Elias felt the station shake gently. The first hit had landed. Shields dropped to 32%. He looked at the boy, who now stood by the wall, eyes glowing, hands raised. The lights brightened. The shield stabilized. Is he doing that? Elias asked, amazed. The mother nodded slowly. The boy was not afraid. He was defending them. Elias returned to the weapons panel and locked target. Let's see what this old place can do, he whispered, then fired the first torpedo. The battle had begun, and this time Elias was not alone. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Smoke filled the control room. Elias wiped sweat from his brow, the heat from the attack still burning through the walls. The enemy ship had backed off for now, but Elias knew it wasn't retreating. It was waiting, testing, calculating. He turned to the alien mother, who stood quietly beside her son. The child had grown stronger in just hours. His eyes glowed softly like twin suns, and strange symbols shimmered on his skin. They faded as he breathed, like waves rising and falling. Elias had seen many things in his life: war, death, the end of Earth. But this child, he had never seen anything like him. Machines obeyed his touch. Broken systems healed themselves. He didn't speak much, but when he looked at Elias, it felt like he already knew him. Down in the medical room, Elias ran more tests. He scanned the child again using deep analysis. The results made his heart stop. The DNA showed something impossible. Half of it was alien, but the other half was unmistakably human. Elias stared at the screen, eyes wide. "This isn't just a miracle," he whispered. "It's a message." He ran to the mother and pointed at the results. "Human," he said, tapping the screen. "How?" The mother paused, then walked slowly to the control panel. She typed carefully, word by word. "You sent your blood," Elias remembered. Long ago, before Earth died, humans had launched a Project Genesis. They sent capsules with human DNA into deep space, seeds of hope, praying someone might find them. The mother pointed at her son and wrote again, "My people found it. He's life from both worlds." Elias sat down overwhelmed. All this time he thought humanity was finished. But here it was alive, reborn in a new form. Not just a child, but a bridge between two civilizations. Suddenly, a voice returned from the station speaker. "Warning! Foreign signal attempting override." Elias jumped up and ran to the command screen. The enemy ship had sent a hacking code, trying to shut the station down from the outside. Elias tried blocking it, but it was strong. Too strong. Then, without a word, the child stepped forward and placed his hand on the panel. The override signal stopped dead, like a candle blown out. Elias stared in awe. "You're more than human," he whispered. The child looked up at him, smiling faintly, but behind the smile, Elias saw sadness deep and ancient. This boy carried something heavy, more than just power. Later, in a quiet moment, the mother finally spoke with a voice Elias could understand. It was broken English, soft and slow. "Your world gone," she said, "but dream not gone." Elias listened as she continued. "My people wanted to kill the dream," she said, pointing to the child. "Afraid of change. Of him. They sent ships to end him." She looked down, holding her son's hand tightly. "I run. Hide. Come here." She looked into Elias' eyes, voice trembling. "You were last light." "I follow." Elias understood now. She didn't just arrive by chance. She had tracked the last human, hoping he would protect her son. The last of her kind who believed in peace. Outside, the enemy ship powered its weapons again. Time was running out. Elias activated full lockdown on the station. He turned to the mother. "We have to prepare." The child stepped forward, glowing brighter than ever before. His hands moved through the air, and the station began to change. Walls shifted, power returned to dead circuits. Old machines awakened. Guided by his unseen energy, Elias watched in silence. He realized something then. The child wasn't just powerful, he was becoming something new. Something beyond both human and alien. He was evolving right in front of them. As systems rebooted, the old AI voice returned. "Commander Elias," it said. "Unknown force stabilizing station functions." Elias smiled. "That's not a force," he whispered. "That's a child." For the first time in years, the station felt alive again. Not just running, but breathing. The last human and the hybrid child had become the heart of something new. But far beyond them, in the void of space, the enemy prepared its final attack, and Elias knew the next battle would decide not just their lives, but the future of everything that still believed in hope. The stars outside were quiet, but the silence was a lie. The enemy ship floated in the darkness like a predator. its weapons fully charged, its engines glowing like a fire ready to burn everything. Inside the station, Elias stood in the control room, his jaw tight. His old hands moved fast across the controls, activating every defense system still working. He had once commanded fleets, but now, all he had was an aging station, 2 torpedoes, weak shields, and a child with a power he still didn't fully understand. The alien mother stood behind him, calm but alert. She held her child close, his body glowing softly. The child's eyes followed every movement, watching, learning, sensing. The air around him pulsed gently, like a quiet storm building inside his tiny body. Final warning received, the station's I-ray reported. Elias looked at the message one last time. Surrender the hybrid or be destroyed. He didn't hesitate. Send reply, Elias said. No surrender outside the enemy ship. Began to move, not fast but slow and steady, like a beast circling its prey. It launched the first blast, a wave of red energy that hit the station's shields hard. The floor shook, lights flickered, but they held, shields down to 61%, Ray announced. Elias gritted his teeth. Fire Torpedo 1. The torpedo launched with a loud roar, cutting through space. It hit the enemy ship near the side butt. Barely scratched it. They have armor, Elias muttered. Good armor. He turned to the mother. We can't win like this. She looked at her son, then back at Elias. Trust him, she said simply. The child stepped forward, walking past both of them. He placed his hand on the main console. Instantly, the entire room lit up with golden lines. Screens blinked faster. Controls moved on their own. Then something happened Elias didn't expect. A hidden panel opened in the wall, one he had never seen before. Inside was an old system, marked Genesis Core. Elias stared in shock. I thought that was just a theory, he whispered. The Genesis Core was built as a secret backup. A gift from Earth's last scientists, an energy weapon powered by living code. It had never activated, because it needed one thing: DNA that was part human, part something else. Now it had both. The child touched the Genesis Core, and it hummed. To life, power surged through the station like lightning. Systems rebooted, weapons recharged. Shields doubled in strength. Outside, the enemy ship noticed the change. It launched another attack, this one larger. The station shook violently. Parts of the hallway cracked, but the shields held strong. Elias stood in front of the control panel, now glowing under the child's touch. Target enemy ship core, he said. Target locked. Ray confirmed. Elias looked at the mother and child. This is our chance, he said. She nodded. Placing her hand over her heart, the child said one word softly. Light. Elias fired the second torpedo, this time guided by the Genesis Core. It moved faster than before, brighter. Surrounded by golden energy, it hit the enemy ship right in the center. A huge explosion flashed through space. The enemy ship twisted and cracked, its shields breaking apart. But it didn't fall, not yet. From the enemy ship, smaller drones were launched. They looked like black arrows, moving fast toward the station. Drones incoming, Ray warned. Elias activated the station's point defense system. But it was too slow. Then the child raised both hands. A pulse of energy burst from him, covering the station in golden light. As the drones hit the shield, they simply melted, like snow and fire. The child fell to his knees, breathing hard, but the threat was gone. The mother ran to him, holding him close. Elias knelt beside them, his voice shaking. Is he okay? The child opened his eyes and gave a small nod. Elias looked out the window. The enemy ship was now floating in pieces, slowly drifting into the void. It was over. For a long time no one spoke. The station was quiet again, but this silence felt different, not cold, not empty, peaceful. Elias sat in the command chair, exhausted but proud. He had done what no one else could, defended the last light of two worlds. The mother placed her hand on his shoulder. Thank you, she said softly. The child reached out, touching a nearby panel. A map appeared, dozens of stars, systems, paths through space. One of them blinked in green. The mother looked at it, then at Elias. "Home," she said. Elias smiled. "Let's get you there." For the first time in years, he had a mission again. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The battle was over, but the war wasn't done. The enemy ship was destroyed, its pieces scattered through space like broken teeth. Yet Elias didn't feel safe. The child had used too much of his power, and now he lay weak and silent in his mother's arms. The station lights were steady again, glowing with golden energy, but the air carried a strange tension, like something bigger was coming. Elias stood in the control room, looking at the blinking green star on the map. It was far, deep into unknown space. The mother had called it home. Ray, the station AI, spoke softly. "Commander, incoming signal detected, long range." Elias turned quickly. "Another enemy ship?" "No," Ray answered. "A fleet, multiple signatures, unknown origin." Elias' heart sank. "Friendly?" he asked, hoping. "Unknown," Ray repeated. Elias zoomed in on the map. The fleet was moving fast toward them, not drifting, not patrolling. This was a direct approach. The mother looked at the screen and her face turned pale. She held the child closer, whispering softly in her language. Elias stepped toward her. "You know them?" She nodded slowly. "The elders." "They come now. More dangerous," she added. "No talk, only end." Elias clenched his fists. He had barely survived the last fight. Now a whole fleet was coming. And the child, humanity's last legacy, was too weak to protect himself. Elias looked at the Genesis core, still glowing. He had one more option, but it came at a price. He walked to the console and accessed the oldest protocols, under layers of warnings and security codes. He found it. Protocol Omega. Ray spoke again, voice slow and unsure. "Warning. Activating Protocol Omega will destroy this station." "Yes," Elias said, "but it will also buy them time." The mother stared at him. Understanding what he planned to do, she shook her head, tears forming in her eyes. "You die," she whispered. "No need." Elias smiled sadly. "There is a need." He looked at the child, who opened his eyes just a little. Their eyes met, old man and young hybrid, and in that silent moment, something passed between them, not words, but understanding. "I was supposed to die alone," Elias said quietly, "but now I have a reason." He handed the mother a memory disk. "Take this. It's the last record of humanity. Our knowledge, history, hopes. Give it to your people. Teach them what we were." The fleet was close now, the screen filled with red dots, forming a wide circle around the station. They weren't firing, not yet. They were waiting, watching, preparing to strike at once. Elias loaded the Genesis core into the main reactor. The system blinked, charging 60%, 70%. When it reached 100%, the station would explode with enough force to disable anything nearby. He helped the mother carry the child back to her ship. The small alien vessel had repaired itself with the child's energy earlier. Now it was ready to fly again, just once, just far enough before they entered the airlock. The mother turned and grabbed Elias' hand. Her voice broke as she spoke. "You are light," she said. "Last, but not forgotten." Elias didn't speak. He just nodded and closed the door. He watched through the glass as the ship detached from the station and began to drift. The child looked back through the window and raised his hand weakly. Elias stood alone again, but this time it felt different. He wasn't just the last human anymore. He was the guardian of something new. Ray gave the final countdown. Genesis core, 98% charged. Prepare for detonation. Elias sat in the command. Share one last time. He looked at the stars and smiled. I didn't fail after all, he whispered. We're still out there. Outside, the enemy fleet moved in, weapons powered up, ships forming attack lines. But the small alien vessel, carrying the mother and child, slipped away unnoticed. Hiding behind the station's signal, it headed for the green star, the place called home. Inside the station, the countdown reached 0. A silent flash-filled space, followed by a wave of pure energy. The station vanished in golden light. The fleet was thrown into chaos, systems fried, ships spinning, and far away, a single ship continued its journey, inside. The child slept peacefully in his mother's arms. A small light blinked on the console, the memory disk from Elias. She pressed play, and a hologram of Elias appeared. Smiling, my name was Elias, he said. I was the last human, but now, because of you, I'm not the last anymore. Asterisk years passed through the stars like falling dust. The station was gone, the fleet scattered, and the war ended in silence. But something had survived. Something powerful, gentle and new, the small alien ship once, weak and broken, had reached its destination. The green star from the old map pulsed brightly now. Around it was a hidden world, untouched, covered in blue oceans and silver trees. This was the place the mother had called home. The ship landed softly on the planet's surface. The mother stepped out first, her cloak now repaired, her posture strong. Behind her, the child walked on steady feet, taller now, older. Golden lines still glowed softly beneath his skin, but he looked more human than ever before. The world welcomed them. Beings of all shapes and colors came to see the boy. They bowed their heads, not in fear, but in respect. For years they had been told to fear him, to hunt him. But now they saw the truth. He was a miracle. The mother spoke to the council of elders. She placed Elias' memory disk in the center of the room, and from it, the hologram of the last human lit the chamber. My name was Elias, it said. I lived long after Earth fell. But I met a mother who ran, and a child who changed everything. Don't be afraid of him, Elias continued. He is not the end of your kind. He is the beginning of something greater. The room was silent. Then the elders stood, one by one, and nodded. The child would not be hunted again. He would be protected, taught, and honored. In the years that followed, the child grew strong. He learned to speak many languages, not just words, but thoughts, feelings, light itself. He could heal the sick, power-broken cities, and calm violent storms, but he never used his powers for control. He remembered what Elias had told him. Strength means nothing without kindness. The mother helped lead the new society, a place where science and nature lived side by side, where human knowledge from the disk blended with alien wisdom. Books were printed in both languages. Statues of Elias stood near schools and gardens. He was called the last light, but even as peace returned, the child sometimes looked up at the stars. He would sit by the water and listen to the wind. There was a part of him that still missed the cold station. The old man with tired eyes. He had only known Elias for a short time, but the bond they shared was unbreakable. One night, during a great storm, the child had a dream. In the dream, he stood inside the old station again. The lights flickered, and Elias was there, older, but smiling. Are you watching me? The child asked. Elias nodded. Always. You've done more than I ever did, Elias said. You gave us a second chance. When the child woke, he stood and walked into the center of the city. There, he placed his hand on a tall crystal. Tower 1 he had helped create. Golden light spread through it. Rising like the sun, the people gathered, watching quietly. A new message appeared in the sky, written in glowing letters. We are not alone. We are not broken. We are the future together. That day became known as the Day of Unity. Every year, they remembered Elias, the human who gave his life. and they celebrated the child who carried the dream. As time passed, the world changed, new cities rose, space travel returned. Ships flew again between stars, but never with weapons, only with hope. The child, now a leader, sent explorers out with copies of Aaliyah's disc to find other lost places, other lights in the dark. Some say they even found signs of other humans scattered, hidden, surviving, and maybe one day they would all return. But even if they didn't, humanity lived on. Not just in the child's blood, but in the way people treated each other, in the stories they told, the music they played, and the choices they made. The stars still watched from above, cold, silent, ancient. But now they were not just watchers of death, they were witnesses to rebirth. And on a quiet hill near the city, beside a silver tree, a small stone stood with words carved in 2 languages. Elias, last of Earth, guardian of tomorrow, never forgotten. Asterisk, 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 asterisk.